When you think about getting older, what comes up for you? For a long time, I think many of us were taught to fear it, to resist it, to measure ourselves against where we thought we'd be by now. What should we look like? What should we have achieved by now? But along the way, something definitely shifted for me. And I started wondering, what if getting older isn't something to fear? What if it's actually one of life's most quietly beautiful gifts? So, welcome back to Radiate Happiness, the podcast where we explore simple, soulful ways to live with more joy, peace, and meaning. I'm Anjana, and this is another episode very close to my heart. Well, we're talking about getting older, and everyone's going to get older at some point in their lives. So, we're talking about getting older and the unique, quiet, deeper kind of happiness that actually comes in this season of our lives. It's not the louder happiness. It's not the kind that needs an audience. It's the kind that settles in your bones and just simply is there. You know, a lot of you have heard me talk about this before, and those who've read my book know it for sure, but I spent a lot of my younger years caring deeply about what people thought about me, how I was perceived, how I was talked about, whether I was enough in the world, in everybody's eyes. Well, I'm not going to pretend it disappeared overnight. It did not, but gradually. So gradually that I almost honestly didn't notice it. I guess that it just loosened its grip. Today, I honestly live for me. Of course, my loved ones too. But I don't live for the approval of others, not for the version of myself that fits neatly into somebody else's expectations. Just me. And if you had told my younger self that this kind of freedom was waiting on the other side of age, she would have been really relieved, because caring less about what others think isn't indifference, it's clarity. It's knowing yourself well enough to trust yourself. And that is one of the greatest gifts that comes with time. My relationships have changed too. They've deepened. There's so much more truth in so many of them now. There's more understanding, more depth in a single conversation than there used to be in years of knowing somebody, for example. The connections I have today feel real in a way that's really hard to describe. Like we've all been through enough to stop pretending and just be with each other. And in the relationships that didn't make it, I've actually made peace with those too. Because I've come to believe something that has brought me so much comfort. You've all heard this before. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some are meant to walk with you for a chapter, teach you something essential, and then lovingly let you go. And that's not a loss. That's life doing exactly what it's supposed to. So my children are grown up now, married, living their own beautiful lives. And where there used to be worry, the kind of worry only a mother truly understands, there's now something softer. There's pride. There's gratitude. A quiet joy in watching the people you love become who they were always meant to be. And I'll share something with you today that I haven't said to anyone actually. Well, in a few months, I turned 60, the big 60. And honestly, I've never felt more like myself, more settled, more at peace with who I am and where I'm going. If anything, this number feels like a door closing and more like a window flying wide open. Because the woman turning 60 has lived. She has loved. She has lost things and found better ones. She has survived every single hard day that once felt unsurvivable. And she's still here, still growing, still curious, and still choosing happiness. That feels worth celebrating, right? Loudly, joyfully, and without any apologies. And then there's the becoming, my own becoming, because perhaps the greatest gift of growing older is this. You finally start to let go of who you thought you were supposed to be. The expectations, the roles, the versions of yourself you performed for others. And you know what's left underneath all of this? It's just me. More me than I have ever been. If I could say one thing to my younger self, it would be this. Don't be afraid of change. I know it feels like loss sometimes. I know it's uncomfortable and uncertain, and sometimes it breaks your heart. But change is the only constant. And every single change that has ever found me has shaped me, grown me, and actually brought me closer to who I truly am. Well, the wrinkles, the wisdom, the stories, the scars, they're not signs of what we've lost. They're proof of what we've lived. So take a quiet moment today and ask yourself, what do I appreciate more today than I did 10 years ago? It may be a person. It may be a moment of stillness. It could be your own company. It could be some amazing memories. It could be your own voice. Sit with whatever comes up and honor it. Because that appreciation, that depth of seeing is wisdom. And wisdom is beautiful. So growing older is not about losing something. It's actually about becoming more of who you were always meant to be. Softer in some places, stronger in others, freer than you've ever been. And if you're somewhere near this season of life or heading towards it, I want you to know it is so much more beautiful than anyone told you it would be. Don't listen to them. Seriously. Thank you for spending this time with me today and for being part of this little community we're building together, our Radiate Happiness. Wherever you are in your journey, may you find joy in this season. May you find meaning in your story. And may you give yourself permission to grow beautifully, bravely, and completely on your own terms. Until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, and keep radiating happiness.